Hey everybody, it's June 1st. It's a sports algorithm podcast. It's 9:03 a.m. on the East Coast, and I'm waiting for the market to open in 27 minutes, and I'm bored. So we're gonna do baseball and we're gonna do NBA. Start to finish. Definitely gonna do it in less than 27 minutes. We're gonna do kind of a quick choppy job on updating the algorithms. We're not gonna get super in depth because I do this because we've kind of created this algorithm to predict exact scores of games, what we're trying to do here. And I've sold a lot of them over the years. A lot of people take the file and start updating it themselves, and it becomes their thing, and they never need another version from me. I love that. I love that people will take it upon their own to program and expand upon the ideas that are listed here to help you figure out the secret sauce of baseball and what predicts games. Now, I'll get to baseball in a second, but I just do it because it can be done kind of quick, and the more time you want to spend on it, the better it's going to get. So I'm willing to dedicate a little bit of time sometimes when I'm free. And of course, I make these available on kenbraverman.com if you'd like to buy a copy and be on your way and have fun with it. So let's talk about NBA first. First of all, NBA was okay this last game on the 30th, a couple days ago. Dallas did win, favorite. They actually won, even a little injured. Chicago Sky lose a lot with these significant injuries here. So we always have to pay attention to the health number. If one team is significantly injured, do not trust that team is going to win the game. They're usually not a good pick. Seattle did not win, but they fought hard and they covered. So they covered this big, huge spread. And also Indiana covered this big, huge spread down here. As this was a very close game. Only 3 points. Indiana fought back the whole time. So the algorithm was good about picking the correct spreads in these games. So anyway, there's only one game tonight, and it is the Connecticut Sun versus the Lynx. Now, I haven't updated any of the player stats or anything, but what we are going to do is we're going to update the one thing that you have to. And you can't see this screen, but I'm grabbing the WNBA injury report for the day. This one's important because if there are significant players out, and also if a team is healthy and there are no significant players out, that is a huge factor that really matters when it comes to basketball, a game where there are not as many people on the roster as other sports. And so it just really matters. And I'm grabbing the report, and where it goes is it goes right here where it says injury. And we're just going to paste it right here. Looks like some more ladies have been injured since the last time we updated. Here's the update pivot table, which you now refresh. And stuff changes. Minnesota does have injuries. Look at that. Somebody's out that's big. What's going on here? Diamond Miller. That's right. Diamond Miller. Sounds like a very beautiful sparkly beer that's brewed in Wisconsin. So she's out. So that's going to impact things. Let's take a look. Let's go into the results pivot, and we see that the Minnesota Lynx are now at 90%, not 100, which makes the chance that the Sun win even better. So there you have that. It's always tough playing a spread. I don't take anybody minus 7 points. You never know what's going to happen. But in terms of just to win on your parlay or whatever, it apparently is the Connecticut Sun tonight in WNBA. And WNBA is done. So now let's go over to baseball. All right. So it's good. Now, anytime anybody asks me, like, what's up with the game now? Well, Minnesota's got a player who's pretty significant that's out, Diamond. So I think Connecticut probably wins. Huge in women's basketball because women are big stars. There's some big stars. I'm starting to recognize the names. Let's face it, everybody, I like watching women's basketball. I'm going to admit it. I do. Whether or not I'm betting on it, it's actually watchable somehow. Because they're pretty good, but they also make some bad, like, backyard mistakes because some of them just screw up really badly. It's kind of funny. All right, we're going into baseball. So baseball is much more complicated than WNBA. For all you who think women are complicated, well, women's sports is not that complicated when it comes to stats, but baseball is. Now, in order to update this thing and really start to get involved with this, one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to check some things from yesterday, because there were some games, I think, yeah, I want to check up some games from yesterday because this was obvious. It really liked Arizona. I think they crushed it like 6-0. This game was 0-0 going into extra innings. I would like to know who won that. So I'm going to go into baseball, and I'm just going to check something for a second. We're not going to do a huge extensive thing because it's already 9:08, and so I only have 22 minutes till the market opens. I want to get this video up and published before the market opens. So I just want to do some really, really quick things to check out what happened here. So yesterday, the Yankees Seattle score. I mean, I could just do 1-0. Seattle pulls it off. How about that? And so the algorithm once again gets that one right. So let's refresh and see what the day looked like here for the day of Wednesday. So this is not bad. This is 8-6. A lot of teams at the top win except for Texas. Now, one of the cool things about the MLB algorithm is that it has a bunch of different combinations you can test to see what kind of record it would have given and what the scores would have been. There's a whole thing that can be changed dynamically that I test when I spend time updating and testing what the best options are. Well, I'm looking at the results from the day before. Okay, this is from the 30th and not even the 31st. It kicked out these combinations as ones that were doing really well. 134, 100, 444, 47, 169. So I'm just going to grab those numbers over here for a second and show you real quickly why this is interesting. So we just did 134, which goes 8-6 and looked like this. I'm trying to remember the teams and whether or not they won at the top, because a lot of wins at the top is good. Algorithm says there's a margin on these games. And if you want to pick games where there's a big difference, you're going like above here, that's 3-1. They're not all favorites. Angels were an underdog and they crushed it too. They won by 7. So you see some of these win big. That's good. The biggest winners, except we should have had apparently Pittsburgh higher up. Also an underdog winning. Miami also an underdog coming back in the 9th and walking it off. And Milwaukee an underdog, and I believe also winning. So the algorithm did some really interesting things. As you can see, it's profitable. It's profitable yesterday. All right. Under this combination that I ran it for in the morning. Thank you, Francis, for purchasing this yesterday. That's the reason I got this thing, ready and done. And this is the reason why I'm doing a really raw version of it right now, in case somebody buys it today. And I'll have to do it in the middle of the market. So point is, so this is not bad. Now let's also look at a couple of these other combinations that it said to play us, from the day before. The 100 combination instead of the 134 is 10-4. Look at this. Has Washington over the Dodgers? No way. Because Syndergaard is so bad now. That's what happened there. Syndergaard is just giving up like a lot of hanging balls in the strike zone, apparently not pitching well. And Washington had Corbin going. Did he get the win? That's crazy down there at plus 200. This is a great one. So I'm probably going to go with that one today in case one of these other ones beat it. That's incredible. 444 combination goes 9-5. This was a really close game. Washington won it in like the 9th or something, I think. This is all good. And then 47. Let's try that one. I could run the whole macro, but I didn't want to waste that much time. 9-5, putting Atlanta over Texas appropriately. But it has the Dodgers way up here. And we'll do one more of 169. We could also check what it's doing to the scores and stuff. You can tell by margin of victory over here how it ordered. This is pretty good as well. What is this? This is 9. This one moves Texas further down and also moves Arizona above Texas. I like that. Although so did the odds makers. Has Pittsburgh higher up. I like this one. So we'll go with 169. All right, now, what does that mean? That means that we're going to do a bang up, quick, huge job of updating today real fast. So what we need to do is we need to start updating our odds sheet. It is no longer the games from Wednesday. It is now Thursday. So I'm on RotoWire. I just found their odds page for the day. There are games starting at 107, nice and early. Apparently a lot of day games today on a Thursday. Ooh, not that many games. Okay, the number of games are 7 games. So we've brought in these 7 games now, which are now rolling forward to our matchup sheet that we want to get updated so that we get it right. We're removing the normal like 14, 15 game schedule. We're removing a lot of those games that are not happening today. And this is cool that I left this up here too. This is nice. This will come in handy as we're browsing. So this, believe it or not, almost works already. There's only one other thing we need to do, we have to do. And that is grab the lineups. And then for the last few minutes, I'll go through other editing stuff that we actually should do. So the lineups, which are shown on this link right here, if you want to just follow it, but I'm already basically there anyway. So MLB lineups are really important because knowing who's batting, and none of these are going to be confirmed yet. They're all expected to. That's the other thing. You got to update this when they go from expected to confirmed so that you get the right players in here. But this is the sample of who they say is expected. And thanks, good job, RotoWire, for doing this. It makes it really helpful for projecting the next day. Then we update people like Jay Davis has moved to a different team. We'll see which Jay Davis that is. He's now on Miami. He used to be on probably Detroit if it's Jonathan Davis. We'll find out if that's correct later. And that's everybody. So guess what? This is now a look at the batting orders for the day. We do not have any holes. Okay. So we actually have a preliminary look at everything right now. And you refresh the day pivot and it comes out like this. Voila. 300 dogs on here. Today it has Colorado over Arizona. How interesting. Team powers are way off and low, though. This is weird. It's a weird combination. Let's try one of the other combinations. That number 100 was incredible. Let's try that one. And then refresh. A little better. Numbers are way off. Why are our team powers so far off? Weird. We're putting a lot of weight on pitcher stuff. And 14% on average ones. Oh, well, they're coming out negative. Well, that is, I mean, scores look okay. Well, I mean, these 300 dogs look like they're still showing up of Miami, Cleveland, and somehow Colorado, even though it really liked Arizona yesterday. That's the crazy thing about the algorithm. And it knows more than the rest of us. It just threw it all in there. That's what we've got. Now, there's a couple other things we can do. We need to refresh all connections, which is going to update player and pitcher stats. What's going on down here? If it still works. These things sometimes break. Okay, accessibility, whatever. Let's try refresh, see if anything happened. Yeah, margins changed slightly because we got updated stats in here. So, okay, well, if you just want to read this at face value, we're not going to update team pitching stats and team batting stats because I just don't feel like it. I'm about good with that, but we should update this stuff to be more accurate, but I'm just not worrying about it. Batting order looks good. For those of you who care about fantasy, you can open this thing up and see the batting order and how these people are ranked. Like if you were going to take one person on Toronto, it's probably Bo Bichette, followed by Matt Chapman. Stuff like that comes out in order. So Yeah, so it's these three games, the ones that are above this margin, and one of them is an underdog. So it's Houston, Colorado, and apparently Toronto. Um, so that and the Connecticut Sun comes up. I want to say a 4-team parlay or round robin, but the odds are pretty bad. So maybe you just go with the parlay. You live or die by it, and it's tough to hit them all. But when you do hit them all on this, that's gonna pay minus 350, minus 200. Like, I'm trying to think, like $100 parlay on this probably pays about 480, somewhere between 400 and 480, I think it would pay. And it's possible. I don't know how Colorado pulls this off. That's apparently the straight bet of the day is Colorado because of the underdog line at plus 146. But do your own whatever. And if you want a copy of this so you can purchase it and mess around with it yourself and do better than I do here in this video where I just throw it together real fast, you can go to kenbraverman.com, purchase a copy, and I'll send it over to you. All right. Good luck. And may Houston, Colorado, Toronto, and the Connecticut Sun. I used to work at Mohegan Sun Casino. I know that stadium well. I walked around in there. Anyway, all right. Good luck with all your picks be winning.